believe that the prosecution is completely able to convince a jury based solely on circumstantial evidence that Peterson is guilty of the crime. First, they have the repeated threats, they have her fear, and then all of a sudden she is dead. Second, you back that up with the fact that fourth wife is missing. She's gone in the wind and nobody knows where she is. Those all point to a logical conclusion that Peterson killed his third wife.
Does it rise to beyond a reasonable doubt, though?
If the 12 people in the jury box thinks it does, then it does.
What do you think?
The problem with circumstantial evidence is that it doesn't definitively point to one way or another. It could, the fact that the fourth wife, Stacy Peterson, has disappeared, do we know that he killed her? Or do we, for all we know, she might have killed Savio and now she's off on the lam. We just don't know. And the defense is going to bring up all of these alternate theories in their case.
Does the defense have to say, if not him, then whom? I mean, is a jury going to look at this case and say, the only person is Drew Peterson? And even though it's not required of them, does the defense have to come up with an alternative theory? Who did this to these women?
Alison, you're correct that constitutionally speaking, the defense doesn't have to do anything. You're innocent until proven guilty. The defense could just end their case, as soon as the prosecution rests. However, I do think in this case, given how high profile it is, given how much it's been in the media, given how much the jurors already know about this case, they are going to want some alternate theories of the case. I don't know what the defense will be. There's any number of ways that the circumstantial evidence can be interpreted, and what the defense will say, very rightly in their closing, is that if there's more than one way you can interpret the circumstantial evidence, then you must acquit Mr. Peterson.
I happen to think, by the way, that the prosecution started off with a horrible disadvantage because this was initially ruled an accidental drowning by police officials. So they need to explain that their own police made a mistake, that their own coroner made a mistake. That's tough, and that's a hard place for the prosecution to start its case against Mr. Peterson.
The fact of the matter is, Alison, is that when Kathleen Savio's body was found, Drew Peterson was an active cop. There was no reason for them to do a full investigation. There was no reason for the police force to suspect Peterson because he was one of their own. I think that you are absolutely right. That has led to a huge disadvantage for the prosecution in that the evidence that they have collected in this case isn't fresh, it isn't timely. The prosecution didn't go forward when it should have, way back when. But this is what they're working with, and if they think it's enough to convict, then they're just going to keep on going.
But now they have a stronger case because the fourth wife is missing.
Despite the fact that Drew Peterson's third wife is dead, his fourth wife is missing, all indications are that his defense attorneys think that he will be acquitted. Get the app today, follow Wild About Trial, Drew Peterson. This is a very interesting case.